What is up, guys and Karate Kid fans? Welcome back to my channel. This is OCD Movie Reviews. My name is On The Brinkcat, and continuing off with the Karate Kid movies leading up to Karate Kid Legends, I've last reviewed the original Karate Kid, which is one of my favorite childhood movies of all time. Now, let's review the sequel, The Karate Kid Part 2. This movie is once again directed by John G. Avildsen, and this movie stars once again Ralph Macchio and Pat Morita, including Tamlyn Tomita, Yuji Okumoto, Kamekona, and Nobu McCarthy. Hopefully I said her name right. Now, when it comes to Karate Kid Part 2, this film is very mixed by some people. Some people say it's their favorite Karate Kid movie. Some people think it's okay. You know, there's a mix with the Karate Kid Part 2. Now, here's my reaction to Karate Kid Part 2. Is it as good as the original? Absolutely not. But it's really hard to top the original film. But what I would say about this movie is that I think, in my opinion, the Karate Kid Part 2 is probably the most underrated, I would say, in the Karate Kid franchise. I think this is a good sequel to the Karate Kid. And I think the biggest thing I loved about the Karate Kid Part 2 is that this is not a copy and paste sequel. You know, it's not like the original film, say like the third movie, for example. This movie ups the stakes more. This movie is definitely different compared to the original film. Actually, it's a much different film than the original was. And the biggest thing I loved about this movie is that this movie focuses more on Mr. Miyagi in this film. Yes, in a way, Daniel does feel like a side character in this film. He still has a chance to shine in the film. He's still, in a way, a main character of this film. But I like that this movie focuses a lot more on Mr. Miyagi's past, which I think that definitely ups the stakes than the original film. You know, in the original film, Mr. Miyagi is, you know, a very mysterious person. We all want to know his past. But, you know, the first Karate Kid is all about Daniel. It's all about Daniel learning karate and basically earning their bullies' respect. This movie is more about exploring Mr. Miyagi's past in the film, because the past definitely comes upon him in this film, when Mr. Miyagi receives a letter in the film that his father, the man that told him everything he needs to know, is dying. So basically he has to go back to Okinawa, where he is from, to Atomi Village, his hometown, with Daniel coming with him, because of course Mr. Miyagi needed Daniel. And of course Mr. Miyagi encounters his past rivalries with Sato in the film, which in the past, him and Sato are the best of friends. They're both trained by the same father, Mr. Miyagi's father. And the rivalries come to pass when they both fell in love with a woman named Yuki, and of course Yuki falls in love with Mr. Miyagi, but Sato is a rich guy and he's arranged to marry Yuki, and he challenges Mr. Miyagi to a fight to the death, so Mr. Miyagi left Okinawa. And in Okinawa, like Mr. Miyagi said, honor is very serious in Okinawa. So of course Sato couldn't forget about his past, and he wants to still challenge Miyagi to a fight to the death. So this movie is very dark when it comes to Mr. Miyagi's past bringing back into this film. And I love that this movie does focus on Mr. Miyagi's backstory a lot more in this film. And I do love the rivalry between Mr. Miyagi and Sato in this film, because Mr. Miyagi still wants to be friends with Sato. He still wants to make amends with him. But of course, Sato doesn't want to leave the past behind him. He still wants to fight Miyagi, and I thought the rivalry between Mr. Miyagi and Sato in the film is really well done. And I think Sato is a very intimidating villain in this film. Which also brings another rivalry with Daniel in the film and Sato's nephew Chosen in this movie, played by Yuji Okumoto, which, man, Chosen is a cheesy, fun villain in this film, and he's also very intimidating in this film. The rivalry between him and Daniel in the film is also really well done in this film. He's still a really fun and intimidating villain in this film, and it definitely ups the stakes more because he actually wants to kill Daniel to basically have him receive his honor. And I do think the rivalry between Daniel and Chosen in the film is really well done, and I love in Cobra Kai, basically Chosen redeemed himself, and he comes up with probably one of my favorite characters in the show. I thought Chosen in Cobra Kai is a fucking badass. But in this movie, he's just a fun, intimidating villain in the film, and I do love Yuji Okumoto's performance in the film. Also, what I love about the film is actually the romance between Daniel and Kameko in this film. Played by Tamlyn and Tomita in the film, I thought the chemistry between Daniel and Kameko is so strong in this film, and I think it's my favorite romance that I have seen in the Karate Kid series. Don't get me wrong, I like the chemistry between Daniel and Ali in the film, but I don't know, there's something about the chemistry between Daniel and Kameko in the film that felt so natural and felt so freaking strong. They have so many cute moments together, and you believe their romance. You want them to be the iconic couple in this series. And I gotta say, Kameko is she's just a sweet character. I love her character in this film, and it creates a really nice friendship/romance with Daniel in the film, and I just thought the chemistry it's just so sweet in the film. I just think the tea scene is probably one of the most romantic scenes that I have seen in the series. Like, it is beautiful, especially with Bill Conti's score once again. It's just breathtaking. But I love that this movie is all about Daniel learning about Mr. Miyagi's past in the film, learning about Tommy Village, the history behind it. Which I love that it ups the stakes with that, with the world building of the film. I love that Daniel is learning about Mr. Miyagi's past and how the village is. It's just really interesting and just really fascinating in the film. And easily this film is the most emotional film that I've seen in the Karate Kid series. Of course, the scene where Mr. Miyagi's father, the man that told him everything he needs to know, dies, and this powerful scene where Daniel talks to Mr. Miyagi basically about how his father died, and they're both kind of having a way in common. It's just a really beautiful scene that shows Daniel's past as well with his father, and it's all connected with Mr. Miyagi as well, and just seeing him basically confronting each other, it's just beautiful. It's probably one of my favorite scenes in this series. So this film is definitely much more of a drama than the first Karate Kid movie. This movie definitely has more emotions in the film, but also this film has a lot of great scenes too. There's a lot of scenes that stand out to me in the Karate Kid Part 2. I love the scene where Daniel basically breaks 6 blocks of ice because of course Chosen forced him to do a bet about it. That is a badass scene. That shows that Daniel is literally still a karate badass. But in my opinion, my favorite scene in this movie, honestly, is the typhoon scene, the storm scene where everyone gets into shelter. And this is a scene that I felt like it changed Sato's basically perspective forever. It shows Sato more as a character in that scene, where in that day Mr. Miyagi is supposed to fight to the death for Sato for ruining the village, and of course Mr. Miyagi does it to save the village. And when Mr. Miyagi and Daniel save Sato's life, of course you see Sato slowly redeeming himself when he sees that Chosen is turning into a monster. He tells Chosen to help Daniel, but of course he doesn't accept his honor. He doesn't accept it at all. He doesn't want to help Daniel. And you see Sato just emotionally just traumatized by it, seeing what he have created. And with the moment that Daniel has saved this little girl in the film, man, it just shows how heroic Daniel is in this series. And that scene is definitely the most important moment in the Karate Kid, especially in Cobra Kai, which is awesome. I love that they use little moments to make it really important to the show. It's just really cool. It just shows now when you rewatch the scene, it's now very important. And of course we get the awesome final scene where Daniel fights Chosen to the death to save Yuki. My god, this final fight scene is one of the most intense battles that I've seen in the Karate Kid series, and we can all agree with that. There is no music. It's literally just Chosen and Daniel just beating the shit out of each other to death, and of course Chosen overpowers Daniel. He is strong in this movie. Yes, Daniel gives him a couple of punches, but yep, Chosen has got it down. Until the new technique brought up in the film, the drum technique, which is another signature Karate Kid move, where Daniel wins and beats Chosen to fight. And I would say this, the way he did the drum technique, I don't know if it's the camera angle, but just the way he looks doing the drum technique and beating Chosen, it just looks like he's beating the shit out of him by bitch slapping him. I don't know, I feel like as a little nitpick, that scene could have been filmed a little bit better, but it's still an awesome final fight scene. I would say it's probably my favorite final fight scene that I've seen in this series. It's so intense. You definitely feel the punches because there's no music. You hear the punches, you hear the grunting. It's just really well done. I think the Karate Kid Part 2 definitely ups the stakes more from the first Karate Kid movie. But there are a couple of issues with the film. I don't think this is as good as the original Karate Kid. I do think Sato in the movie, the way he talks in the movie, he plays a very cartoonish villain. I do love his motivation a lot more than how he's acting in the film. I do like the rivalry between Mr. Miyagi and Sato, but I wish we could get a bit more of a rivalry past with them two. It's more Mr. Miyagi telling who Sato is, and when you see Sato, he's this broken villain that wants nothing to do with Miyagi and he wants to fight him to death to basically bring back his honor. But I wish we could have got a little bit more with Mr. Miyagi and Sato, and also a little bit more with Mr. Miyagi and the girl he fell in love with, Yuki. Which there are so many cute scenes with them two together, and I wish I could have, kind of get more of them two together as well. I feel like this movie focuses more on Daniel and Kameko than Mr. Miyagi and Yuki. And I just thought the chemistry between Mr. Miyagi and Yuki is also really cute in the film. I love that little scene where Mr. Miyagi says, "How can I make this up to you?" because he's trying to leave Okinawa once again. She said, "Take me with you." That's a beautiful scene. It just shows how cute their chemistry is as well. I wish we could have got more of that, but that's just slight nitpicks in my opinion. It doesn't get away that I feel like The Karate Kid Part 2 is probably the most underrated movie sequel that I've ever seen. I love The Karate Kid Part 2. I do think this is a very underrated sequel to the first movie. It definitely has some slight nitpicks for me, but I thought this film was really well handled. I like that we explored more on Mr. Miyagi's past in the film. Ralph Macchio is still great as Daniel Russo. I love that he's learning about Mr. Miyagi's past. It definitely ups the stakes more in the original Karate Kid. I thought the film has fun villains, really good fight scenes, really fun moments, great heroic moments as well, and the romance as well is also really well done. This movie is beautiful. Definitely the cinematography is great. The location they filmed in is really well done in the film. And the music as well by Bill Conti. It's also great in this film. There's a new score in this film. It's always the most memorable. So yes, although The Karate Kid Part 2 is not as good as the first one, of course, this is still a good sequel that I would absolutely rewatch, and I think it's very underrated, and I feel like from rewatch, this film got better in my personal opinion. So guys, that is my review for The Karate Kid Part 2. Let me know what you think of this movie. Do you think this movie's underrated? Or you thought this movie's okay? Just let me know in the comments below, and of course my next review is going to be The Karate Kid Part 3, which... yep, that's going to be a fun one. So guys, make sure you guys follow me on social media links down below. Keep contact with me, and make sure you guys subscribe to my channel. Now for my latest movie reviews and other movie related content. Thank you guys so much for watching, and have a nice day.